What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Lethke.
Mike Stadler here.
We got a great question today, Mike.
What do we got?
Somebody asked, when do you enter your stands for the morning and the evenings? And do you ever wait till light for morning entrance, is what I'm assuming. What do you think on that one, Michael?
Well, on my morning stands, I go in the morning.
Right? And then your evening
My
stands?
evening stands, I go later in the evening.
Really?
Yeah. All right, seriously.
That's a great answer.
When do you enter stands for the morning?
Let's go first. Your morning stands are set up for, at least here, thermals, right?
Thermals. Yeah, I'm up high.
And
They're returning to bed.
correct. You catch them between food and bed,
Yeah.
especially early. Okay, let's just say our early season. Now this can vary too, based off the time of year. Okay, so we can always talk about that too.
Yeah.
But morning stands, me myself, I don't hunt deer early season in the morning.
No, I got away from it myself too.
And the reason for that, at least in my areas, is I do not want to educate my deer.
You know where I hunt them in the morning?
Swamp.
Yeah, Fox Lake.
Yeah.
Because I can get in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Right.
Very seldom do I kick a deer out walking that stand in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's full of deer for about an hour.
Yep.
And then it's empty again.
Yep. And we used to do the same thing on the lease.
And that's when I hunt them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mornings here, my property, and it's the same as yours.
Mm-hmm.
We wait till that time of year. You know,
Yeah.
when we're getting that middle October, later October.
Well,
Then we're on mornings.
Yep.
You know, but we're playing our thermals
Yeah.
obviously all the time, especially because our land has elevation changes. Both of our lands do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Carl's just starts high and continues to go higher. You know, mine starts low, gets up high, and then drops back down low.
Yep.
So we always want to be up high in the morning because your scent is not a deterrent in the morning
No.
when you're up high.
Even if your wind is blowing,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
it's still going to go up.
Yeah.
Thermals rise in the morning because the air temperature is increasing, and that causes updrafts. But about 9:30, that's going to stop.
You start to settle back in.
Yeah, as soon as it gets within 10 to 12 degrees of what your daily high is going to be, your thermals are no longer effective.
Yeah.
And if it gets cloudy all of a sudden, your thermals are no longer effective. Just so you're aware.
Yes.
So that's the morning sets. Evening sets, early for evening sets because the sun doesn't go down until late.
Yeah.
I usually don't like to get in the tree until, I'll be honest, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. You sit out there for 4 hours before it.
Oh, I used to do that.
I know, me too.
Dude, I'd get off of work, I'd run right out to the tree. It'd be like 3:30 and I'm sitting in the tree and the sun's beating down on me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fall asleep. Just sit down on the platform and dangle my legs. Shot a big 10-pointer down the Ridgeway doing that one day.
Right.
That was funny. That's before I knew better.
Right.
But, yeah, evening stands for me. I want to hunt probably 2.5 to 3 hours in the evening. Is
Yeah.
usually early.
Yeah, because early I'll get home from work after a little after 5. 4:30, get ready, go out there.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hours before dark.
Yep.
Now evening stands late October.
Whole new program.
Like I'm in that stand. Yeah. By noon, I'm getting ready to think about where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I want to be in that stand by 2 o'clock.
Oh yeah, easy.
For sure.
Easy. And if it's the rut, depending on what I've been seeing,
I want to
for
be in it
movement.
by 1,
Yeah,
1:30.
yeah. I'll get out 11. I'll eat, and I'll be back in the tree by 1:30. And that's pretty much the way it goes. Now, tree stands during the rut for me and entering in the morning. My property is actually pretty dang productive waiting until late. But realize this. When you're going in, it ain't like just walking to the tree. You gotta take your time and move slow and make sure you're going where there are not deer.
Waiting till light can be beneficial too, especially if you get that frost in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't getting in there with the frost in the morning
No.
decently, and a lot of times those deer aren't going to move in that frost. early in the morning.
They actually bed down.
Yeah, they wait until that starts to warm up. So it's a good time to get in at that first light then.
Yeah, my property, I notice a lot. You won't see deer right away in the morning from, like, let's just say October 25th. It's where you got a lot of frost, like you're saying. They're not moving around early in the morning. They're all laying just off of the food, or even right in the food. Got pictures of them laying in
A
it.
lot of times you get that 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock movement, you know.
Yeah, big time for me.
And people are in and out
Yeah.
already before the deer even move.
Oh my God, yeah. Big time for me there is between 8:30 and 10 a.m. And that's just inside the tree line during the rut. You know, and then, you know, you hunted with me a lot this year down there, and you know how on the evening in movement we were getting in as soon as we could get in.
Yeah.
And we'd sit for 3 hours and not see squat, and then boom.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd meet you at noon.
Yeah.
And we'd leave, you know, and we're there by 1-ish,
yeah.
and we're in a stand by 1:30
Yeah.
every time.
Yep.
You know.
And it's not like we didn't see deer sometime. As the rut started to progress, we were seeing deer constantly.
Usually you're there for a little while though before anything happens.
Yep.
And that's what you want to be there a little while before anything happens.
Yeah, and you know, stand entrance is so important, but the exit's just as important as getting out of there without spooking deer. You know, I'm changing the way that the lower food plot is there because we were educating deer when we were leaving last year.
Right.
So now that one edge or half of that bottom plot's going to be all switchgrass. It'll allow us to use those intermediate trails on the other side of all those little bitty elms and all that. Because how many times have you and I, even together, walking together, come out and there's deer standing right there in those food plots. We can see them and they don't even lift their head up or nothing. Just sneak real quietly through there and out the other side.
Yep.
So that's just as relevant as entrances is your exit. You know.
I've waited till light here a few times to get up in the top, the campsite plot. I've snuck in there in the morning, just because it's hard to get up and around the food,
Right.
you know, without being able to see.
Yeah, the hard part about your land here, I think, when you enter that, you go out and around.
I go all the way down and
Yeah,
around.
yeah. There's an intermediate.
There's tapping.
Was that you? I was picking up on it. There's an intermediate trail that you have, but that's probably mostly used for deer.
Yeah, they use it so much.
Probably
that,
a lot of morning movement.
Yeah, that I can't use it.
Yeah.
Which is why the couple of stands that are there, like the one we're moving, you know, into the corner so you can get in it, and the other one's not too far behind that, right off that trail. So you're on the trail, right back off the trail.
Somebody's gonna kill big deer in that corner.
Oh, I know. That's what we're hoping.
Somebody's gonna kill it. Might be Bert.
Yeah, you know, whatever. You can kill one back.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got to get his gun out of his case.
Yeah. Hey, I can see its antlers in the corn.
Yeah, like you probably might want to shoot.
Yeah. You know how tall the corn is?
The corn is 6 feet tall.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. But yeah, I mean, stand entrance in the morning. Morning thermals go up, evening thermals come down. Also make sure you pay attention to that.
Yep.
You know, if you're coming out all the way across your property, but the thermals, like at my place, drop off the edge and then head straight west down the valley, any of the deer, if you're coming from the east side, are going to be educated from your scent. You got to stay high and then drop down to the west of where the lower food plots are.
Yeah, yeah, and entering, like Carl's saying, entering is one thing, the exiting is another. Like I enter some stands one way and I exit them another.
Oh yeah.
And you got to know how to exit them, because if you're exiting them the same way you're going in, a lot of stands you can't do that. But you can do it once.
Well, one time.
I know my bottom plot, I exit that now to the east almost 100% of the time if I am in there, because I know where the deer are now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back through the woods and walk my trail to get out. And it takes me a half an hour to get back here.
Oh yeah.
You know, as to I could do it in 5 minutes.
And that's a big deal.
But
people got to understand that.
I don't
Don't do it because it's easy.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you're going to educate your deer, and you're not gonna have big deer where you want them to be.
Right.
So
I think this all comes down to, again, knowing your property, which leads into, or knowing wherever you're hunting, which leads into everything. You know, stand placement, access,
I think it's
movement.
Deer hunting's a chess game. It's a strategic game all the way around. Maybe not chess, but it's strategic.
Mm-hmm.
So everything has to work in coordination with everything else for you to be successful to shoot a big deer every year or a decent deer every year.
Right.
I mean, if you just want to go out and shoot a deer, I can honestly say do whatever you want. That's what I think. If you want to try and shoot a bigger deer or whatever, you probably have to spend a little time.
Or a target deer, whatever you want to call
Right.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just proper times. It's the same as a decoy. It's the same as a call. It's
Right thing, right time, right place.
It all goes together, so it's there's a lot of error in it too. So
Trial and error. Try and learn everything, or learn something every time you go out. And then try to retain it. That's the big thing. After 30 years, we've probably retained a little bit of information and made a million mistakes. Not shot 2 million deer because of it, but
so really, it's that's when we enter stands. The waiting till light. I think we both say, especially your frosty late mornings. Wait a little bit till that frost starts to come off the grass and sneak in and still make sure your routes are right to get in there. Evening, make sure your exits are right is a big thing for that.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to clear out your entrances and exits to your stands early. Like just say you go bow hunting and you're up in there a little bit. On your way out, be sure to, if there's sticks on the trails and whatever, throw them out of the way.
Yeah.
Because when you're going up in the dark, you're not going to see those sticks.
I think I step on every stick in my woods.
I know I do. I'm lazy. I drag my feet.
I think there's extra ones.
Knuckle dragger.
Yeah. Sounds like I'm hauling in used cars when I go in.
Yep. Carrying all that gear too. So I think that's about the end of the podcast for that one. I mean, I think we pretty much covered our morning and evening stand entrance and exit. We do wait until light sometimes based off of the time of year. Frost is a big deterrent for us. So hopefully that answered your question. We appreciate you guys listening to The Obsession. Be sure to check us out on YouTube at Rush Outdoors WI. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all you guys subscribing. Appreciate all the answers you guys or the questions you guys have been giving us. Hopefully we'll be able to answer most of it for you. Also check us out on RSS feed at The Obsession and Spotify at The Obsession. Thanks for listening.
Check us out next week.